You know, I don't apologize. I don't apologize for saying that America is the greatest country in the world. This is what this man was criticizing Hersey Ali for. He says it's oh so delightful. As if it's some sort of fantasy. You know, I don't apologize. I thank God by accident of birth I was born in America. And the people that would challenge that America is the greatest democracy on earth, they're not talking about Britain, France, Ireland, Australia, all these other semi-democracies. They're not referring to that at all. I think America would take the cake against any of those other countries in our values, in our tolerance, in our equality. But no, they're offended when you talk about the Eastern cultures, the Arabic cultures, these types of cultures. Oh, America didn't even allow women to vote until such and such thing. Elections were stolen in 2000. Well, you know what? Today, men are still not allowed to vote in a lot of countries. There's not a vote. There's not a vote, people. There are people in other countries right now that would love to be having a debate. Should we have free elections? That's a big deal. It's not settled. Not only is it settled that we should have free elections, but we're settled that women should be able to vote, the poor should be able to vote, the minorities should be able to vote. That's all assumed. In other countries, the question is, should there be elections? Can people make up their own minds on who they want in their government? That's a big debate. It's not quite sure. Then after you cross that hurdle, you've got to cross the hurdles of should women be able to vote? Should minorities be able to vote? Should non-property owners be able to vote? America has advanced so far beyond these notions that now we think it's an outcry when there was a close election and they had to recount the vote. We think that's an outcry. And we're losing faith in America as the greatest democracy in the world because of this thing. But yet they haven't even reached that point. The debate is 6, 7 steps backwards. Each step requiring decades, if not hundreds of years, to resolve. People talk about homophobia in the United States. Gays are accepted here. You know why it's called homophobia? Because we don't believe it's right for people to be discriminated against because of their sexual orientation. That's why it's called homophobia. Or maybe that's not why it's called homophobia, but that's why we view homophobia as a bad thing. Because it's assumed that you shouldn't discriminate against somebody because of their sexual orientation. And yet all these people that want to say all cultures are equal and that Americans are arrogant for their views and things like this, they're talking about Eastern cultures, Arabic cultures, that don't believe gays should exist. where gays are hanged. And Mahmoud Ahmadinejad stands up at Columbia University in New York City and says, we don't have gays in Iran. Well, you know what? They probably don't have gays in Iran. Because the gays, the ones that are known, are killed. And the ones that aren't known are too afraid to say anything, too afraid to show that they're gay. So the ones that are known are disposed of. And the rest of them do it in secret, so nobody knows they are gay. So yeah, a person in Iran might believe that there actually are no gays. Because you don't see any. Because they're either killed or scared of being killed. But yet here in America, it's an affront. We're arrogant. We're backwards. We're intolerant. Because there are some people that speak out against gays. This is disingenuous to the very debate on the thing. You talk about women's rights, human rights, the way children are treated, discrimination, tolerance of other faiths, tolerance of minorities. Look at the way Christians are being treated in the Arabic world. Do you see that happening to Muslims? Why are Muslims flocking to the United States? Talk about all the treatment of Muslims since 9/11. This was something else that this interviewer brought up. You know? When people are really under siege, they don't stick around for it. There was a mass exodus of Jews from Europe and during the Second World War because there was true persecution of Jews. And everywhere throughout time, when a group has come under severe attack, there's been migration. You don't see any migration of Muslims out of the United States. In fact, there's still a heavy flow inwards. They're escaping their own Arabic countries to come here to the United States and to other places in Europe. Look at the conflict between the different types of Muslims. The Sunni and the Shia. People killing one another for differences in religion. Of the same religion, by the way. You know, people, Christians, Christian children being killed in Indonesia and things like this. You don't see that in America. Is America perfect? Is America free from racial conflict? No. But you don't see this widespread attitude of religious conflict. You don't see that. I want all the multiculturalists to really examine the rest of the world. Don't ask us to re-examine the rest of the world, because when we do, we find that America is a lot better than what we thought. Not less.